I played World of Warcraft for about 10 years before I stopped living in it, so to speak. I still return sometimes for new expansions, but it's never quite the same. Over that time, a handful of moments have really stuck with me. Not because they were incredible or epic, but because, well, they just stayed. Some good, some really not. I played in a casual guild for a long time, which had a somewhat dedicated raid group, but there were clearly some people who were there more as a body count. We tailed along the more capable guilds, but it still managed a relatively good amount. Because we were a casual guild first, raiding was relaxed and sometimes too relaxed. Tactics? Yeah, there's a video on the forums, but we'll still do trial and error, sure, whatever. So let's go back to Burning Crusade. Let's go back to Tempest Keep. The raid has 4 bosses, 2 of which were basically considered gimmies at the time. Then there was the last boss, Kael'thas, which was considered an immense step up in difficulty. But we won't be talking about him, we'll be talking about the 3rd boss, Alar. Alar was an unconventional boss. It flew between a set of platforms and required a tank to be near it at each platform, or they would start killing the raid with AoE. Each time they moved, an ad spawned, and it would explode on death, needing it to be moved away from the tanks or they would get blown away. This was only the first phase of the fight, but that's the more important part of this memory. I really wanted to kill this boss, as in my eyes, it was a milestone step up. I contributed to the tactics discussions. I had watched videos demonstrating how it was done and even shared those with the guild. Yet, we weren't killing the boss, due to the ads not being handled properly. So I took it upon myself to make it happen. I would run around the whole boss area taking aggro on the ads, bringing them to the right place where another tank was ready to pick them all up, while healing the raid as a healer. At the end of the raid time, we killed the boss. I was thrilled and proud of the accomplishment on the day. I had worked my ass off to make it happen. Then some minutes after the raid leader posted a wall of text in the guild chat. Congrats everyone on the kill, but I would like to take a moment to thank one person specifically. They've gone far and beyond what we ask of our raiders, and we feel thanks to them we could take down this boss. Your efforts haven't gone unnoticed, and we're glad to have you among us. At that moment I froze. It filled me to the brim with pride, really. And I've probably been chasing that high ever since, throughout my gaming life. All I could respond with was a smiley face, but internally I was crying. I really needed that. Another memory with the same guild. We had progressed to Mount Hyjal and had defeated the first 2 bosses. And the next one was a step up in difficulty again. Not because it was harder mechanically, but because it required a whole raid to have shadow resistance gear of some form. We all knew the fight required shadow resistance gear. It wasn't a surprise mechanic, we had been discussing about it. It was the mechanic. Yet when we killed the 2nd boss and proceeded to have a look at the 3rd one, I was disappointed to see I was the only one who had bothered to bring a set of shadow resistance gear. It wasn't a perfect set. It wasn't even the crafted set that was meant for that specific situation, but it was something. The fight was immensely easy mechanically, but the fact that I was the only one resisting spells caused us to not be able to kill the boss. When I was the only person alive at the end of the fight, the raid leader noted how shadow resistance was quite important after all. We already knew that, and that's what disappointed me the most, and it stuck with me. Different guild, slightly less casual, but casual. We were farming Siege of Orgrimmar in the midst of Pandaria. I was playing a tank at this time. For some reason, which I can't remember, we had to have one of our DPS tank a fight. Problem was, they had never tanked the fight before, but we had been clearing the raid for months and months, so I had assumed that people knew how to position the boss, even if they had not tanked it. So the boss fight came, my DPS co-tank had absolutely no idea what he was doing. And I, in my frustration, genuinely yelled at him. on voice chat, in very mean spirit. It was bad enough for the raid leader to tell me to shut the fuck up. Looking back, I realized I lashed out because I was frustrated with myself, not him. I had become really fucking bored of tanking the same fight over and over again, and wanted some change, and he didn't deserve to be my outlet. He was kind, cheerful player, always there, having a laugh, talking with people, and just trying his best. I never apologized either, and honestly, I wish I had. These aren't legendary raids or heroic triumphs, but they're the thing that stuck. That's the thing about social games like WoW. Sometimes it's not the bosses you kill, it's the people you yelled at, the ones who disappointed you, or the moment someone saw what you did and said, thank you. And somehow, that's what lasts. That is what lasts.